What's up, guys? Alright, so I'm doing a follow-up video on a 60-second short that I did. It is on firearm paperwork. It's one thing that apparently not a lot of people do. And, 60 seconds, I could only really put so much into it. So overall, paperwork needs to be, focus of the collectors, investors, and general firearm owners. Me personally, I kind of find myself kind of in the middle of all three. I have, some limited runs, which would kind of put me in the collector category, and investors. When a decent firearm comes out, I usually am able to purchase it, and if the price really spikes on it, I may turn around and, attempt to sell. And, general firearm owners, just like everyone else, CCW, carry every day. And, so overall, each gun purchase is it's a form of investment. You're putting money into an item, and you count on it working 24/7. And so one thing that I try and stress is, if anything, you want to at least write down the make, model, and serial number. Serial number is going to fall under insurance claims, because there are a lot of insurance companies where you can put individual firearms. You can have a valuable personal property claim, and in that, so take for example, like USAA, you're able to open that valuable personal property, and you can put in there, okay, I have a Glock 40 serial number, XXXX, and then you can take a photo of the gun, take a photo of your receipts. If you change the sights out, take a photo of the receipt for your sights, and then add those totals up, and then that is the coverage for that particular firearm. And also, serial numbers, whenever if one is stolen, you'd have to, the best thing you want to do is, you don't want to have to tell the police, oh, I don't know the serial number, it was just a Glock 40. And so serial number, you're always going to want to enter, and keep those in store. For your investors, serial numbers, there are a lot of people that invest in parallel serial numbers. So if they're back-to-back firearms, they'll purchase two of them, and usually try and double the profit whenever they sell them. And for investors, you have two different investors. You have longevity investors and the buy low and sell high investors. And between the two, the longevity investors is going to be specific firearms, good brand names with good reputations. So like Colt, all the Colt 45s, the long Colt, 5-shot, 6-shot, those at one point were a really low purchase, and 40, 50 years later, they're $2,000, $2,500. Buy low, sell high. Example of that would have been when Obama was in office. At the very beginning, whenever there was the firearms scare, a lot of people bought, rifles, ARs, pistols at a decent price, and then a year or two later, they all doubled in price. So that would be a brief example there. And I added here, it would be specific items, so individual items, not bulk items, because if you buy in bulk and sell in bulk, that's kind of falls under straw purchases, which you'd have fun in prison by then. So this is my book. I'm just going to pull one firearm out. All right, so this one is a shotgun that I had. So on the front, alright, sorry about that glitch, I had a little bit of technical difficulty. Alright, and also one thing I wanted to note is each firearm has its own sleeve. So each sleeve, I do copies of all the receipts, so each individual sleeve is each individual firearm, etc., etc. So in the sleeve, I have the cover sheet. Cover sheet is the generics. It has the main purchase of the firearm, and it has all the add-ons. And so this is just an overview. And you know, if you're the kind of person that changes your firearms up a lot, then this may or may not work for you. I'm not sure on that. So you have the cover sheet, and then on this particular one, I've found decent prices on eBay. So a lot of these are going to be eBay overviews, and you know, so you have the Sure shell holder, the rifle carrier, the choke tube extension, and this one is the stock. It's one of the older Blackhawk model of shotgun stock and pistol grip. And so basically, if you're an investor, or if you choose to insure your weapon, you know, you would take a picture of your purchase receipt, then you would submit everything that is added on to that rifle. Because if it's fixed on the rifle, most insurance companies consider it all in one, more or less. I will say, if it's a rifle and like a $2,000 scope, you're going to want to get a separate policy for just the scope. But since all these were, you know, $60, $80, then, you know, that doesn't really take too much of effect. Like, so up under here, let me just cover that. This is one of the rifles that I used. A $1,300 rifle on top of a $2,000 scope. My particular insurance company will do all-in-one, because I told them it never gets moved. It's on that particular weapon. So that particular firearm, I have insurance of up to about $4,000 on it. So, you know, so that kind of gives you an overview, at least when it comes to keeping records or insurance. If you're a buy sell kind of guy, it kind of helps, because if you have a lot of additions on your weapon, it helps you keep track of how much you spent on that particular item. So if you put like a red dot on it and you don't like it, and another guy has one, it's something you can quickly go to. So it's always a plus. That's, you know, I guess that's the overall gist of it. And I mean, I don't know what else to really add. You know, if you do sell weapons, I know in Alabama, as of right now, you can still sell firearms. You just have to, you know, CYA and do a bill of sale. And to be on the safe side, you can take that to an FFL, and they can do the transfer. In Alabama, the serial number is not really associated with your name. They run the serial number to make sure that it's not put up on any stolen websites, or, you know, listed as stolen, I mean. And then, you know, then show the transfer. The only paperwork that they would keep is just your name and the background check that you had in order, you know, to have that firearm So that would be my suggestion, is if you want to do it the legal full way, you would, meet someone at a FFL and have them do the transfer. I mean, I don't know what else to say. That there's not really that many videos on people out there that, show how they keep track of their firearms. This is everything that I have in stock, I should say, in stock or in my safe. And then I have another folder of ones where I've done sales. I keep my bill of sale, because last thing you want is a firearm that you sold and they didn't do an FFL, and they somehow link it back to you. If you don't have that bill of sale, all fingers are going to point to you until you have proof otherwise. And then in the very back of this one, this is just kind of where I keep track of knives and other smaller investments. I just kind of did my own grid, a watch, another knife. So hopefully this has inspired some people, whether or not you invest, whether or not, you're just a everyday gun guy, keeping your own records, that's definitely a good way of CYA, especially with, all the thefts going on, thefts and, the younger generation trying to break in and all that other fun stuff. And I mean, guys, this is a 50-cent thing from Walmart. It's nothing fancy, but, paperwork it holds is, a couple $1,000s worth of info. So, I mean, I guess last thing, since there weren't any guns in this, I'll do my EDC, since that seems to be a good thing. Got a bolt action pin, my Frankenstein 06, my Streamlight wedge, and since it's end of day, it's loaded. Proof that it's now unloaded because it's night time. Finally got my kids down. And this is the 27 Gen 4 40 cal. And I don't know if I ever did a video, but that's the finished stippling that I was able to do on it. But other than that, guys, hopefully you liked it. Hopefully, if you spent this whole time, hopefully it was informative. By all means, shoot something down in the comments. Like, subscribe, and give me some more ideas. The more ideas I get, the more I'm able to entice my wife to let me buy some more firearms. So that's kind of a struggle in and of itself sometimes. But other than that, y'all have a good one, and I'll catch you on the other side.